It's the 24th of August, 2023, and I wanted to record this now, even if I don't upload this video straight away, simply because I think this is a good start point. I'm currently at 106 kilograms, and I'm starting this ketogenic diet probably for the next 2 months, maybe 3, and then after that point I plan to move to keto during the week, and not so much at the weekends, because I miss chips and tortilla wraps. If you've ever seen the substitutes for tortilla wraps involving xanthan gum and just psyllium husk and protein whey isolate, all these kind of things that you have to buy, mush up together to make some kind of weird Frankenstein, and it doesn't taste half as good as the real thing. I'm not going to be bothering with that so much, but right now we're just going to be dealing with a regular ketogenic diet. Hopefully I'm going to be answering a lot of questions as the videos progress. I'm going to be keeping you informed of, my exercise regime, which is not much. It's really not difficult. I think right now I'm kind of at about 5,000 steps per day. Yeah, it's nothing really. In terms of that, I think I'm a bit lazy. But don't worry, I'm lazy across the board. I don't want to do tons of washing up. I don't really want to do tons and tons of work in the kitchen. In fact, what I'm going to be doing is laying out meal plans, sharing them with you, and they are going to involve as little of that kind of prep and headache stuff as possible. There are still going to be difficulties with, making sure that you get enough fiber in your diet, making sure that you can afford these things. If you're buying steaks every week, how do you keep up with that during a cost of living crisis? Well, in the UK, I should point out that prices are fluctuating. I'm not going to give you guides on prices necessarily, but things are always going to be a little bit more expensive than other things. So, I will try and keep that in mind for you. At this specific time, it's also maybe worth noting that a UK keto diet is actually slightly different from a US keto diet. Why would that be the case? Well, we actually handle nutritional information slightly differently. I didn't know this until, I think this was about a month or two back. All it basically is they deal with net carbs, and that's how you work out, the amount of carbohydrates that you ingest and actually that your body can make use of. But they list fiber. So they list all carbohydrates, they list fiber, then you do a sum, you take away the fiber from the carbohydrates, and that gives you your net carbs. That's not in the nutritional information in the US. In the UK labels, actually that sum is already done for you. Carbohydrates is the only thing you really need to worry about, and it's that balance between fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, those macronutrients that you need to be able to actually enter a state of ketosis, if that doesn't sound too trance-like, and actually make this diet work for you. Obviously, you have to avoid breads, grains, pasta, all of these kinds of starchy things, rice, also fruits, bananas, apples. They've got a lot of sugar in them. So you've got to avoid sugar, you've got to avoid starch and other carbohydrates. Is there anything else? Well, it's actually worth making sure that you do get enough dietary fiber. We're going to be talking about that as well. And in the meantime, I suppose I've kind of run out of stuff to say. I will be keeping you appraised of my meal plans, of my exercise, my weight as we go through this, and I will be reporting every other day, potentially sprinkling in some videos about things that trip me up, how to save money, how to batch prepare food, things like that, and also, of course, how to calculate various energy requirements. Because you can say, well, I'll get my majority of calories that my body is going to use from fats. That's quite difficult without kind of engineering it and doing the calculations as to what is the energy density of fat versus the energy density of carbohydrate. Don't worry, I will do the sums for you. I have done a ton of research on this, and it has worked for me in the past. So, until then, I shall say adieu.